Imagine this. You've just had an argument with someone you love. Your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, you want resolution. But instead of talking it out, instead of finding closure, they go silent. No calls, no messages, no eye contact. Days pass. The silence grows louder than any scream. And slowly, you begin to feel like you're the one who's wrong, even when deep down you know you're not. What if silence wasn't peace? What if silence itself was a weapon? One of the most dangerous tools of psychological manipulation? This is the silent treatment. It looks harmless on the surface. After all, it's just silence. But in reality, it's a calculated, destructive tactic that narcissists, manipulators, and toxic people use to control you without saying a single word. The silent treatment isn't about cooling down or taking space. It's about punishment. It's about control. It's about making you doubt yourself until you're desperate enough to surrender, just to break the silence. Have you ever begged someone to just say one word, just to acknowledge your existence? That crushing feeling of being erased is the power of the silent treatment. And today, we're going to expose how it works, why it's so effective, and why it leaves scars that last far longer than words ever could. The silent treatment has roots deep in human psychology. From childhood, we are wired to seek connection. A baby cries, and if the mother ignores that cry, the baby experiences distress that feels life-threatening. That same primal panic is triggered in adults when someone we love withdraws communication. It's not just silence, it's abandonment. And abandonment is one of the most painful psychological experiences we can endure. That's why the silent treatment works. The gaslighter or narcissist doesn't need to yell, doesn't need to strike, doesn't even need to argue. All they have to do is withhold communication, and your brain does the rest of the work. You question yourself, you replay conversations, you wonder what you did wrong, and in the end, you're the one who comes crawling back, desperate to end the agony. Have you ever been in a relationship where silence lasted longer than the argument itself? Where the fight was forgotten but the silence lingered like a shadow, suffocating you day after day? That's not conflict resolution. That's psychological warfare. In romantic relationships, the silent treatment often starts small. Maybe your partner ignores a message for a few hours, then a day, then several days. They withhold affection, refuse eye contact, give you the cold shoulder. You feel the tension rising, but when you ask what's wrong, they shrug or say, nothing. That nothing is everything. It's a trap designed to make you question yourself, to force you into apologizing even when you did nothing wrong. This is how the silent treatment becomes a cycle. You argue, they go silent. You panic, apologize, beg. They eventually forgive you, but only after you've surrendered. The lesson is clear. Disagreeing with them means losing their love. And once that lesson is burned into your mind, you'll do anything to avoid the silence. You've been trained, conditioned, controlled. But it's not just in love. The silent treatment is everywhere. Parents use it on children. I'm not speaking to you until you behave. At work, bosses or coworkers freeze out an employee, excluding them from conversations, making them feel invisible. In families, siblings or relatives create walls of silence to punish and isolate. And in politics, silence is used as propaganda, controlling what is said, and more importantly, what is left unsaid. Have you ever been in a room where someone's silence felt heavier than words? Where the absence of sound became louder than any scream? That's the silent treatment at its core. It's not passive, it's active punishment. Psychologists explain that the silent treatment works because it activates our fear of rejection. Human beings are social creatures. We survive by belonging. When someone we care about cuts us off with silence, our brain perceives it as social death. It feels unbearable, and the more it happens, the more desperate we become to fix it, even if we're not the ones at fault. And narcissists know this. They use silence as a leash. They give you love, then withdraw it. They shower you with attention, then cut you off. It's the same cycle as love bombing and gaslighting, just quieter, more insidious. With every round of silence, you lose more of yourself. You learn that your voice doesn't matter, that your feelings aren't valid, that the only way to survive is to obey. One survivor described it like this: "He didn't hit me, he didn't yell, he just ignored me, and somehow that hurt worse. I felt invisible, like I didn't exist." Another said, "The silence was a cage. I kept apologizing just to hear a single word. I didn't even know what I was apologizing for." Have you ever felt that kind of desperation? That need to break the silence, no matter the cost? That's how the silent treatment destroys you. It convinces you that your worth depends on someone else's approval, someone else's words. The long-term effects are devastating. Victims of silent treatment often develop anxiety, depression, even trauma. They second-guess themselves constantly. They become hypersensitive to rejection. They lose confidence, independence, and even their sense of identity. Over time, silence rewires the brain. It tells you, "You are nothing without me." And once you believe that, the abuser has complete control. What makes the silent treatment even more dangerous is that outsiders rarely see it. Friends might say, "They're just giving you space," or "Everyone needs time to cool down." They don't see the manipulation. They don't see the days of icy silence, the intentional refusal to acknowledge your existence. To them, it looks harmless. But inside the relationship, it's torture. So how do you protect yourself? The first step is recognizing the difference between healthy space and manipulative silence. Healthy space is communicated. "I need a day to calm down. Let's talk tomorrow." The silent treatment is unspoken, unexplained, and designed to make you suffer. If you're left in the dark, if the silence feels like punishment, it's not space, it's control. The next step is to set boundaries. If someone uses silence as a weapon, call it out. Say, "I won't accept being punished with silence." If you need time, say so, but ignoring me is not acceptable. A healthy person will respect that boundary. A manipulator will push harder. That's how you know the truth. But perhaps the most important step is to stop blaming yourself. The silent treatment is not your fault. It's not because you're too sensitive or too needy. It's because someone else chose to use silence as a weapon against you. And once you see it for what it is, you can begin to reclaim your power. Have you ever realized that silence hurt you more than words? That the emptiness between you and them felt like a knife? If so, you've already seen the truth. Silence can be deadly. Silence can destroy. And silence, in the hands of a manipulator, is not absence. It's attack. The silent treatment is one of the cruelest forms of psychological manipulation because it leaves no marks, no bruises, no scars. But it leaves something worse: doubt. Doubt in yourself, in your worth, in your reality. And if you're not careful, that doubt will consume you. But you are not powerless. Awareness is your weapon. Boundaries are your shield. And connection, with friends, with allies, with your own truth, is the way you break free. Because once you realize silence is a weapon, it can no longer control you. So ask yourself, if silence itself can be turned into a weapon, how safe are you in the relationships you trust the most? Subscribe to Mind Control Z to uncover more hidden truths about dark psychology, manipulation, and the silent tactics used to control your mind. Awareness is the first step. The question is, are you ready to face it?